All right, hey guys, meteorologist Doug Heddy. Let me know when you guys get this up and going. Let me know how the audio sounds. If we're good with audio, then we're going to roll and do a little streaming. So, you guys in the comment section, just give me a thumbs up. Kind of let me know that we're looking good. A lot is starting to go on now. Okay. All right, sounds great, sounds good. All right, let's go. All right, guys, so did a stream a little bit ago, and we talked about how the storms ahead of the main batch, it kind of helped us out, but then the front storms, they started moving so fast, it allowed the atmosphere to destabilize once again behind it, and that's why we are seeing more severe weather, and we still have several hours to go. But then I think we're looking pretty good. These are very discrete cells, so not everybody is going to get severe weather, but I want to show you what's going on. In the purple, tornado watch till 5 o'clock in the morning. And so kind of a long night for everybody. I sent Lindsay home because she'd been here about 10 hours, so you just got me tonight. All right, in the yellow we have a severe thunderstorm warning. This is in southern parts of Montgomery County, and then you can see in the red a tornado warning, northern Washington, northern parts of Nowata County, and then another tornado warning moving into Benton County, and this is purple. This means a large, destructive tornado is on the ground. Now watch how the radar is just lit up over the past hour or two, and we're really watching kind of four main areas. So let's stop this here. Four main areas I really want to watch. I want to watch this cluster over Joplin. It's not severe, but it's strengthening. This whole cluster here, this developing storm here south of Bonita, and then of course the tornado on the ground. So you can see that it's different segments across the region. But these are going to continue to strengthen. I think we have a really good tornado threat, or a high tornado threat, for the next hour, maybe two, probably just hour, and then we'll switch over to elevated storms, which mean just mainly big hail. All right, let's get into this. So first I want to dive into our tornado on the ground. So we have two areas of rotation. This storm is right now it's recycling, but we're looking one area of rotation just east of Decatur, and then reforming back east of Colcord in Delaware County. And we're going to switch this up. I'm going to switch over to velocity here. Oh, let's go back. Come on, computer. Come on, baby. You got it. You got this? Okay. I made the computer mad for a minute. All right, let's go down here. All right, so here's our tornado on the ground. One just east of Decatur, and a second one just southwest of Decatur. So we do have a large tornado on the ground moving into Benton County. Of course, this is a very populated area, especially once you get to I-49, and then just east of that we have Beaver Lake, and there's a lot of people at the lake. A lot of people are camping, so this is something we want to watch closely as it pushes in. Let me get the latest on this warning here. Okay, zoom in here. I'll look at this here. West southwest. Okay, so we are that first rotation, which does have a tornado on the ground, and then this is a weird situation. Tornadoes, they rotate counterclockwise or cyclonic, but we're having a second tornado that's developing on the back side, which is kind of like sister tornadoes, and it's pushing the other one clockwise. So you have one tornado rotating this way, and the second one is rotating this way, which is something you don't see very often, but it's anticyclonic. So we have two tornadoes on the ground in Benton County, so we're watching this. They are large tornadoes, and moving very close to Bentonville, Springdale, Rogers, and eventually over toward Beaver Lake. Let's go back. Let's look at our next one. So this is another very dangerous storm here. So we're looking in Montgomery County. So here's Independence, here's Coffeyville. You can see our classic hook echo. So it's passing just by Caney right now. You can see the signature here, the green and the red. So it's maybe a mile or two southeast of Caney. This is not one on the ground right now, but it holds very strong low-level rotation. This is the cell that actually concerns me a little bit more for our region, because I've been watching it now for about 2 hours develop kind of back west of Wichita, and it's been holding very strong rotation for quite some time. All right, so let's look at these. Let's put them in motion here. Oh, let's go back. Let's put these in motion. So let's look at the western cell. You can see it developed south of Wichita, and it's moving right along the Kansas-Oklahoma state line. So if this would continue to have tornadic activity for the next 2 hours, we're looking at Miami, Commerce, downstream, Neosho, south side of Joplin. So that concerns me a little bit. So we want to watch that cell very closely as it moves due east. Now the southern cell that has the confirmed tornado on the ground, you can see it's moving due east through Benton County, but at the same time the atmosphere is so unstable. Look at the explosion of storms south of Bonita, which are going to head back into Delaware County and also Grand Lake. So we want to watch those as well. We have a cluster on top of Joplin. It hasn't been severe, but it's been strengthening a little bit. So we have very intense lightning, heavy amounts of rain. We've had a little bit of flash flooding with it as it's pushed through. Also, you can see the lightning, so very electric storms. All these storms have a lot of thunder, a lot of lightning, and we're going to go into Jasper County. So let me zoom this back just a little bit. All right, so we got a second cell developing just west of Seneca. Very intense cell, Joplin up toward Carthage, right below severe limits, but has been producing very heavy amounts of rain. We had a tornado warning earlier, just moved just south of Stockton Lake, and then moved out of the region. That cluster now is on top of the Lake of the Ozarks. And then we have developing storms again. Let's go back about 30 minutes. So Fredonia, Neodesha, Erie, Parsons, you can see kind of lighting up. But here's that main cluster with that supercell. It's one huge cell. There was a second cell behind it. So you can see just southeast of Winfield, and watch how the storm merged. So now they became mergers, and that's why the cell is turned a little bit to the right. So it's a right turning cell. Very big hail. We're getting ping pong to golf ball size hail just west of Coffeyville, but let's go ahead and look at where the rotation is exactly. All right, so we're looking at our tornado. You can see the big inflow notch right on the state line of Oklahoma and Kansas. So it's past Caney, but if you live in Coffeyville, South Coffeyville, you definitely want to go ahead and take shelter. So when I say shelter, we're talking about a basement. Not a lot of people have basements here. So we're looking at interior bathroom or closet away from windows. You put pillows, blankets over your head, or if you have a storm shelter, of course, that is your number one place that you want to go. Let me get the latest on this morning. Okay, let me see here. Yeah, so it's still, I mean, it has a well-defined funnel cloud. It's not on the ground. It may be recycling a little bit when I look at this hail core. So let me go back just a bit. See how the purples start to pick up, and then see how we're getting some on the back side. So this cell may be trying to recycle a little bit. So we may lose the warning on it briefly, and then it recycles and comes back. So we want to watch that as it continues to push east, because in line is right along the Kansas state line. So we're looking at Edna over towards Chetopa, Welch, Commerce, Miami, all the way to downstream, and then Joplin to Neosho. So if it can hold together that long. Now, I think after it's 1:30, I think after 3 a.m., we switch primarily to a wind threat. But until then, yeah, we're going to keep that tornado threat. And these are surface-based. Surface-based are the ones that can produce pretty big tornadoes. All right, let me get the latest here. Okay, so checking the very latest short range models. All right, so this supercell, I'm going to pull out a measuring tool here with the confirmed tornado. Looks to move due east toward Berryville. So let's zoom in on that. Just south of Eureka Springs, over toward Berryville. And then, let's see here. So that would keep it on the south side of Beaver Lake. So, again, we got a lot of campers out there, but that's where that storm is going. So let's go to the next storm because we've got some CAMS models, which are very good at the next hour. All right, so this cell, if it can keep its rotation, the latest track, I'll show you here, takes the area of rotation right into North Miami and Commerce, right on top of Commerce, and then would affect Seneca over toward Neosho if that continues. But again, atmosphere is very, very unstable. These are all nocturnal, obviously overnight storms, but it's very hard to deal with tornadoes at night because you just can't see them. So we do have a lot of storm chasers that are out there because this has been advertised to be a pretty big day, but they're having trouble seeing stuff. At least we have pretty much a full moon, so if we get some breaks in the clouds, it helps just a little bit. All right, let me look at some of the latest warnings here. Glancing through stuff. Let me look through a few of your comments real quick. These storms have been very scattered, guys, but we have had storms just about everywhere, but the tornadic activity, of course, is very, very scattered. We've talked about one cell's moving out of Joplin, but we want to watch the supercell that is out across Montgomery County because that could obviously affect Miami, Commerce, Seneca, Neosho on the south side of Joplin. Plus, we're getting a lot of development on the north side of the storm, meaning the complex is becoming bigger. So that will produce severe storms into the metro. And I still want to watch what these guys are doing. Down near Veneta, you see how they've really popped up. So that may affect McDonald County as we work through the next hour or so. A lot of thunder, a lot of lightning. Let's see here, let me look. Obviously, I can't, if you guys, whoever wants to go to bed, you can, but I'm not gonna clear anybody of saying, hey, let's go to bed. Because we're just not there yet. I mean, especially when you have active tornado warnings and one of them has a large tornado on the ground. I do think things really, after 3 a.m., the tornado threat drops and we switch over to a wind threat, but we're gonna have storms around 5, 6, even 7 a.m. because they're gonna continue to redevelop. But once we get past that 3 a.m. mark, that's when our tornado threat really starts to drop, which is great. Let me see here. Guys, remember on the apps, I know a lot of people say this is what the app says. All the apps have future radar. That is a IBM model. It's not bad, but it's not exact. So you can't, it just kind of gives you an idea of what could happen, but by far, it's not exact at all. So don't look at the future radar and be like, oh, I'm good, because you can see the explosion of storms. And during severe weather, the model I trust the most is the CAMS model, which is kind of an in-house model. You can't really find it. All right, so let's do some timing here. Okay. So we got the Joplin-Carthage storm over toward Mount Vernon moving northeast. You can see redevelopment north of Pittsburgh, north of Lamar. Let's go in here. So we're just going to put a cluster on here. Change this to 40 miles per hour. Okay. So if we take this we'll take the most severe part of this storm. And so here's 1 hour. So this thing is rolling east. So we're looking at Mountain Valley by 140, Edna 143, Oswego 205, Blue Jacket 212, Miami 225, Buffalo Run Casino at about 227. So that would put it into Seneca, South Joplin, Neosho at about just shy of 3 o'clock in the morning. And remember, I said after 3 o'clock in the morning, I think that tornado threat will slowly start to drop. All right, so let's erase that. Let's drop south on the other tornado. This storm is recycling right now, so it doesn't have one on the ground. It will most likely drop another one. It's just in the stages of, hey, we're trying to, get organized again. All right, so if we push this out. All right, so we're looking at Bentonville 142, Rogers 148, Garfield 203, Eureka Springs 221, 227, and Rock House. But this is definitely going to affect Beaver Lake. The rotation is going to go just south of Beaver Lake, but very intense storm as we go through the night. All right, let's look at some of these other guys. Let's look at this, all these clusters. I mean, gosh, look at the guys in northeastern Oklahoma really firing up. And this is going to continue with the tornado potential as they go east. All right, so just an update here. So let's go ahead. New tornado warning. All right, so we are now looking northern parts of Craig County. So new tornado warning now affects Welch, also the town of Blue Jacket, northeastern parts of Oklahoma. It's still about 30 or 40 minutes away, but we put these warnings out pretty far in advance so that you have plenty of time to get into your safe spot, your storm shelter, your basement, or interior bathroom or closet. And you can see where this is at right now. It is passing by South Coffeyville. So again, South Coffeyville, you want to go ahead and take shelter. You can see the hail core, Coffeyville, all the way back toward the west, where you see the pink or purple. That is our hail core within our rotation. Let me back this up just a bit. So when I talk about a storm recycle, I'll show you what I mean. So let's go back about an hour and a half. Okay, so here's the notch. And then, so it has a tornado warning, and then recycles. So it re-strengthens. And then it has a tornado warning. Now it's going through the recycling stage once again. So the storm really just where the rotation is, it dies and then reforms a new one. Let's see here. Guys, I've kind of talked about, let's see where these storms are going. This big cluster is going to head into northern Ottawa County and then southern Jasper and northern Newton County. If this would hold together, we're looking at Commerce, Miami, Seneca, Neosho, as far north as downstream up to Mercy. So that's where we are looking at for those storms. All right, we have, let's see, additional developing storms. Let me walk back here a bit. All right, additional developing storms south of Veneta, which are going to affect Grand Lake. I know we have a lot of people camping out there at Grand Lake, so we have intense storms which are rolling in. So we're going to continue to watch those guys as they develop. Let's go a little farther north. The storm that moved through Joplin. So it was intensifying, moved through, and now it's out of Joplin, but it's still affecting Carthage over towards Sarcoxie, up toward Jasper. Little guy on top of Carl Junction is starting to develop. We have more developing storms now just north of Lamar into Nevada. So, and then we can go out in southeastern Kansas as well. You can see they're picking up in Neosho County. So overall, we're not in a weakening trend. We're actually in a strengthening trend for the next hour to hour and 20 minutes. And then after that, once we pass 3 a.m., then we'll switch to a slowly weakening trend. But the atmosphere is very unstable. If you step outside right now, it's just sticky. It feels nasty out there. All right, let me go through a few comments here. I can't do any go to bed circles yet, guys. All I can do is you guys just listen and make that decision for yourself. But I can't. We're still in a tornado watch till 5 a.m. and we still have storms developing, strengthening. So I can't do, let's go to bed. I wish I could. I wish I was at home in bed. That would be nice. Let's see here. Once this tornado warning gets into northern parts of Craig County and is really bearing down on Ottawa County, then we will go like full streaming where we're on TV, we'll be at the wall. But our TV area, this is right on the fringe of our TV viewing area. Obviously streaming, we can go much wider. But once it gets into the TV area, then we'll do cut-ins on TV. Let's see here. Haley's sobbing because she's exhausted. I think everybody's exhausted. Let's see here. Go up a little farther here. Also, guys, on the chat, I know a lot of people talk back and forth to each other, but let's, because we do have tornadic activity, please don't give any fake reports or anything. We're all adults here. Let's keep it mature, especially when we got storms like this that are going through. Nicole says super quiet in Webb City. Yeah, that storm has moved out. Bradley, yeah, Baxter's in line for this storm. Baxter, Galena, Commerce, Miami. I've kind of been only talking about the rotation part of the storm, but yeah, it's a big cluster of storms, so it's going to drive right through the metro and it's going to be loud. Parsons, you got storms moving in right now. It's not severe, but strong. Kaylee, Shell Knob, yeah. Let's see, we got a new severe thunderstorm warning for the north side of the tornado warning. So this is Cassville, Seligman, Eagle Rock, Holiday Island, moving into that area. You can see Chain of Lakes, that is Eagle Rock, and then you got Shell Knob off 39. So you guys are just starting to get rain, but yeah, Shell Knob, you guys are going to start to pick up some intense storms, but the rotation is staying south of Shell Knob. I know we got tons of people camping and a lot of people at the lake. Exeter, not much right now, but we got a lot to come. Let's see here. Grove right now. We got new storms coming in. So Grand Lake folks camping or at the lake, it's going to get loud, it's going to get kind of nasty. They're staying right below severe limits, but they are strengthening. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get some warnings out of this cluster, which is moving into Grand Lake. McDonald County, you got a long night ahead. Especially if this cell that has a tornado, if it gets into Ottawa County, it's going to affect Newton County, it's going to affect McDonald County. Also, this cluster that is moving into Grand Lake will push into McDonald County, so we got to watch that as well. Let's see here. I got a few chasers out there, so let me, yeah, they can't see anything. It's dark. Connie, yeah, that Miami's in line of that tornado. So, I mean, again, it's a ways away. It's an hour and 20 minutes away, hour and 15 minutes away, but we need to watch that. Let's go up here. Mount Vernon getting some storms. Golden City, storms are picking up. The cell moving out of Jasper. But again, these are just strong storms. All the way over to Erie, Parsons, just strong storms. Let's go ahead and look at our rotation and see what is recycling here, or if anything is recycling. Let's pull out the velocity here. All right, so we're still getting, let me go back one here. This one's in a recycling mode, so you can still see this little hook. So we're looking about 5 miles southeast of South Coffeyville. And if we go to velocity, so we are looking right in here where the green and the red is. This storm is recycling right now, so it's in a weakening stage for probably about 10 minutes, and then it's going to tick back up. And that's why the tornado warning's out through northern parts of Craig County, because we're anticipating this storm to go through recycling stages and then drop another tornado. So, but right now it's in its recycling stage. Let's go down into Benton County. Rotation's really picked up, so it's right on top of Bentonville, Rogers right now. So if I move the radar, you can see kind of the brighter green. Let me shift to this one. Very strong signature, Bentonville to Rogers. It had a tornado on the ground. Right now it's, let's see here, what do we got latest on that? Getting a lot of thunderstorm damage around Rogers, Bentonville. Trees are down, so we may be getting some brief touchdowns of that. Let's go back to the Coffeyville one. Coffeyville got some pretty good hail. And the hail's picking up as well. New severe thunderstorm warning. So Labette, Montgomery County, we are getting 2-inch hail. So that's baseball size hail. So we're talking really big boy hail with this storm. So the severe thunderstorm part, so this hail core right here, that is producing baseball size hail. So we're looking just east of Coffeyville, right along 166, so Edna, so just south of Altamont. Some pretty big hail is rotating in. Zoom out a bit here. You can see our rotation about 3 or 4 miles south of the Kansas-Oklahoma state line. So if we drew, in a sense, where the rotating part of the storm, we're looking at it right through Commerce, Miami, Seneca, over toward Neosho, if it can hold together. So, but this is a dangerous storm. It's produced some touchdowns already, and we just want to keep watching it as it pushes off toward the east. All right, let me switch this back. We're going to let things animate for a minute. I'll go through a few more comments, but you can see the general motion here. So the one that just went through Coffeyville is almost moving due east, right along that state line. Look at the development northeast of Tulsa, so moving back into Grand Lake. Our tornado warning in Benton County. Our storm moving out of Joplin, still affecting areas just east of Carthage. And then overall, just a big cluster of thunderstorms from Chanute over toward Nevada. Scroll up a little bit here. VDF, it's past Gentry right now. So the rotations are right on top of Bentonville and Rogers. Let's see here. The Coffeyville storm will affect Webb City, it will affect Joplin, but I'm kind of talking more about the rotating part of the storm will stay just south of Joplin. Let's see here. Fort Scott, just some good old thunderstorms, nothing too big. I keep going down here. Tony, your storm has just moved out of Carthage, so a little bit of a break. Sandra, Cherokee County, Galena, yeah, that whole cluster of storms is heading in. So it's going to get pretty big. The purple on the radar, it's just the most intense rain, and it also picks up on hail. So when we see the purple on the radar, that is showing us where a hail core is. And of course, we're getting very large hail with these storms. Yes, Ryan Jinks, the storm in Grove that's moving in will also affect just south of Seneca. But that's why I have the radar in motion right now. You can see the overall expansion of the showers and thunderstorms across the region. So again, I think tornado threat really lasts until about 3. And then after that, we switch mainly to a hail and a wind threat. I look at the latest short range model here. Okay. I see the tornado threat with the western storm, I guess the one in northern parts of Craig County. The latest model run wants to keep, so let's zoom in a little bit. So I'm going to draw an arrow and I'm going to stop it where the tornado threat should die. So it's going to hold a tornado threat all the way into Monette and Aurora. Once it passes the state line of Oklahoma and Missouri, that's when the overall threat will slowly start to decrease. But I think this guy is going to have some form of tornadic activity for a while. Now it's recycling right now, so we're back to just a severe thunderstorm warning. Very intense storm, but we'll see if it recycles and drops another tornado warning. All right, so let's look at our Benton County one. Very big hail core in the purple. Rotation is now passing by Rogers. At this point in time, I'll look at one thing here. Okay, so we're looking kind of, if we look at Beaver Lake, we're looking at Prairie Creek area. It needs to go ahead and take shelter. That's on the western side of Beaver Lake. Kind of where the dam, well, no, south of the dam, but, and then it's going to move right across the central part of the lake. If I look up toward areas that are up kind of closer to the Beaver Dam, the rotation should stay south of you. But yeah, if you're camping at Beaver Lake, you guys need to bunker down as we have that tornado warning. All right, so storm increasing now, Table Rock Lake, so we're looking at moving into Eagle Rock and Holiday Island, Beaver. All that, the showers and thunderstorms are starting to pick up. So we're getting winds at 60 and about 1-inch size hail, which is about a $50 size in southern parts of Berry County. All right, let me back up here. Put this into motion. Okay, let's look at this storm. The one passing by Carthage is just strong. We're getting winds at about 40 miles per hour, so not big, but there is some pea-sized hail in that storm. Stockton over toward Nevada, moderate storm, not seeing anything severe. Let's go back through Neosho County. Those are ticking up a little bit, but we have to worry about the tornado threat staying on the south sides of these clusters. So you can see another cluster rolling out of northeastern Oklahoma. So the areas that we have to worry about rotating is going to be kind of this side of this storm, this side of this storm, and then this side of this storm. So those are kind of our three areas that we want to watch, because this one moving into Grand Lake is now ticked up a little bit, and I bet there's a little bit of mid-level rotation there, but not enough to warrant a warning, but yeah, I mean, we want to watch it. All right, so that's moving into Grove. McDonald County, you guys are aligned next. Neosho, you guys will get into showers and thunderstorms. Our severe thunderstorm warning, our tornado warning is dropped for now as the storm is recycling. We'll see if it picks back up. Let me look at the latest details on that. Okay. I'm looking through some data here, guys. Let's see, that storm we are getting, it's moving east at 40 now. We're getting 80-mile-per-hour winds. So that's definitely going to do some damage. Very intense winds. And then we're getting baseball-sized hail. Yeah, so it has lost its tornadic part of the storm for now. I wouldn't be surprised if it, comes back, because there is still at least some mid-level rotation about 5 miles west of Welch. But in this hail core here, we're getting baseball-sized hail or tennis ball-sized hail. But this storm is producing winds, especially on the southern edge here. So you got your inflow notch here, your little hook. But right south of that, we're getting winds of 85 miles per hour. So that is intense winds. So this is moving through northern parts of Craig County now. So Welch, Blue Jacket, you guys are in line next, here in about the next 15 minutes. And then we'll start to watch Ottawa County as it gets closer to you guys. Joplin right now is clear. Obviously storms are going to pick back up over the next hour, but any thunderstorms we did have now pressed off toward the east. All right, let's go back here and get the latest warnings. Okay, it's 1:56. Okay. Give me a second, guys. Okay. All right, so you can see the movement, the increasing storms. We've really got three areas that we are really kind of watching. So, of course, we're getting 80 to 85 mile per hour winds moving right along the state line of Kansas and Oklahoma. The northern part of the storm is just very intense, Parsons, Oswego, all the way back toward Coffeyville, but you can see just a monster hail core. So we're getting anywhere from golf ball upwards to baseball size hail within this storm. Again, this storm is, let's put another track on it, because now it's a cluster. It's still supercell, but it's a cluster of supercells here. So if we take the leading edge, so Chautauqua now, Welch 207, Columbus 212, 223 in Miami, Galena 230, Joplin 240, Seneca 245. So that's what we're looking on that cell. So right now, active warnings, we just have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings in our immediate area, which usually my criteria to get on doing TV is usually 3 warnings, but we may get there. So we want to watch this cell and see if it recycles. This cell over Grand Lake is strengthening. You can see a little bit of purple popping in just southwest of Grove, so that is showing us the hail core is strengthening. So we want to watch this cell because it's kind of splitting the difference between our two cells that have been tornadic. And then let's look here. Rotation looks to be picking up just a little bit. So you can see it's passing by Prairie Creek, so it's on Beaver Lake. So this cell has been recycling. So we're looking right at Prairie Creek, so right through the heart of Beaver Lake. You guys want to take shelter. If you're camping, you may want to try to get into the bathrooms because those are usually cemented. This has had the history of a very large tornado, but this is moving right over the central part of Beaver Lake right now, so you definitely want to take shelter there. And then the hail core is north of that, so northeast of Bentonville, there's a hail core into southern parts of McDonald County, so kind of southeastern parts of McDonald County. Kind of not a whole bunch out there. And then also we have severe thunderstorm warning, southern parts of Berry County, which is going over toward Eagle Rock and then eventually Shell Knob. All right, let me look through a few more. Let's see here. Let's go to velocity and just kind of glance around at these rotations. All right, so this storm still has a mid-level rotation, so we want to watch it as it pushes toward Welch, as it could produce some more tornadic activity. Some mid-level rotation near Parsons, but that's the weaker side of the storm. You can see the big rotation right on top of Beaver Lake, the hard red and the hard blue next to each other. Still, there's an inflow notch still in northern parts of Craig County, so we want to watch that closely. Back up here. So you can see where all the storms are. Now, where you see the purple, of course, that is the very intense hail. Beaver Lake, need to take cover. I know a lot of people are camping. Gotta take shelter now. So if you are camping, the best place to go, you don't want to be in a tent. Best place to go is like the bathrooms because they're at least cement made. And so you want to watch that. Yeah, Benton County is active right now, still the tornado warning. Rotation is strengthening over Beaver Lake, just past Prairie Creek and pushing east. Sniper, no, I said there's a mid-level rotation near Parsons, nothing that warrants a tornado warning. Yeah, Joplin right now, we're kind of in line for intense rain, probably winds 50, 60, maybe 65. I think the most intense part of that cell is going to stay closer to Miami, Commerce, Seneca, Neosho. So those are going to be the areas that are going to have the threat for winds 70 upwards to 80 miles per hour. And then as you get a little farther north, as this storm moves in, so Baxter Springs, downstream, Galena, probably winds 50, 60, 65. And that's kind of what I'm anticipating in Joplin with this cell pushing through as well. Let's see, Bill Ross, Cassville, storms picking up. You do have a severe thunderstorm warning, kind of winds are clocking near 60, and you're going to get some small hail, but the bigger part of the storm is staying down through Benton County. Heather Anderson, you guys, it's really picking up there. You have an intense storm, kind of splitting the two supercells, and I think this is what overall is going to help us out, because if we go back, you can see our two supercells, and then thunderstorms developing south of Anita. But as we go through time, you can see how the storms over Grand Lake they're expanding. And if this middle cluster can engulf the two supercells, then our tornado threat will drop way down. So I'm hoping that's what happens, but we will watch it as they continue to push east. Pittsburgh, you guys are getting some thunderstorms, but nothing too strong, nothing severe. I really think, here, let's do this for you guys. Okay, now we got this thing up here that we got to watch too later on tonight. So let me draw some circles here. Okay, so I think, so this is going to become a big complex and then dive southeast, kind of through here. So that will keep a severe threat from kind of Nevada northeast through the night. But the greater severe threat over the next several hours that will hold possibly a tornado threat and also severe thunderstorms. So here's where we're looking now. I'll go back here real quick. I want to see a little bit of redevelopment back here. So I'm going to say from Carthage to Parsons, and down through northwest Arkansas to Branson, up to Springfield and across. This, in this circle, is the highest potential for severe weather. So north of this, so we're looking Pittsburgh, Lamar, Chanute, Iola, Yates Center, your severe threat is much lower. So I would feel safe going to sleep. Let's see here. Even though it's going to be loud, but I would personally would feel pretty safe going to sleep in this sector. You know, kind of Nevada, Lamar, Fort Scott, Chanute, Iola, Yates Center, Fredonia. So that's kind of the safer area to go to sleep. The area south of that, yeah, we still need to watch until, at least till the tornado threat drops, which I am hoping happens here in about an hour or so, maybe a little less than an hour. If those storms can, if they can kind of cluster up together, we'd be in a little bit better shape. Okay, let me look at this here. Okay. Now, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Okay. Yeah, so we still have a ways to go. All right, new tornado warning. So again, Beaver Lake, you need to take shelter right now. Let's go ahead and look at the rotation here. So that rotation is intensified. So this is just east of Prairie Creek. So let me look at some towns here. You're on Beaver Lake. So if you're on Beaver Lake, if you are near Horse Bend Marina, you need to take shelter all the way up to, let's say, Pebble Beach, Coppermine Lodge, Rocky Branch Marina. Those are all the areas that you guys need to be taking shelter on Beaver Lake, because this is going right over Beaver Lake. This rotation is picking up. You can see a very intense inflow notch here. So let's zoom in. You can see like Pine Top, all these little towns on Beaver Lake, but this is a pretty populated area and there's a ton of people down there. Let's go a little bit farther west here. Still storms on Grand Lake right now, not severe, but getting into western parts of McDonald County. Severe thunderstorm warning now, southern parts of Labette, and then moving into Cherokee County. So we got enough warnings now that we're going to move over to the wall and also TV and streaming side, and at least for a bit, we're going to at least do a somewhat of a short cut in. You guys can see everything, so just hang tight. Let me read the latest here. We got some just very large hail in these storms. Let me read through a couple of the latest things here. And inflow's definitely developing there. All right. Yo, Cody, can you hear me, ma'am? I'm gonna have to shuffle my mic around a little bit, guys. So bear with me for just a second. lay it down. And then I gotta tuck in my shirt, so give me a second. All right, guys, let me set up a couple things, then we'll continue and we'll do a nice big long recap of everything going on. Let's see, set that up, set that up, set that up. Lots of lightning. Okay. Let's move this here. Give me a second, guys. All right, give me a second here. We're going to do a kind of a recap of everything. Mike's going to be a little scratchy here for a second, so I apologize. Okay. We're going to cover everything here, guys, in 1 second. All right, Cody, you can take me anytime. I'll walk onto the wall. Hey guys, meteorologist Doug Hitty. I want to give you an update on severe weather, which is still kind of ticking up a little bit across the region. We've had some tornado warnings. We've had a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings over the past several hours, and our severe threat is still sticking around at least for the next few hours. Tornado watch is in effect until 5 o'clock in the morning. Hey, will you go to Max 1, Cody, for me? All right. Severe thunderstorm warning, southern Labette into also Ottawa County, northern parts of Delaware County. Now, this cell has had the history of producing a tornado, and there is an inflow notch, so we at least have mid-level rotation, but it's been picking up a bit. And then we have tornado warning Benton County, which is going to move out of Benton County here shortly, but a severe thunderstorm warning southern parts of McDonald County, and then into southern parts of Barry County. All right, let's look at this cluster of storms. Now, once this back guy, you can see a little bit of redevelopment, but once this cluster kind of pushes through, then our severe threat will greatly drop. But we still have a tornado threat, gosh, at least the next hour, hour and a half. As these all kind of converge together, our tornado threat will slowly start to drop, but it's been that cell and that cell moving across Benton County that has produced so much in the way of tornadic activity. We had a very large tornado in western Benton County that was on the ground just a bit, and then we had a brief tornado with that guy as it's been pushing right along the Kansas. Very electric storms, a lot of thunder, a lot of lightning. I really think Parsons North, kind of Parsons, Pittsburgh, Lamar, Nevada, over toward Lockwood, Stockton Lake. Yeah, you guys have a lot of thunderstorms, but I don't see much in the way of additional severe weather. It's mainly going to be kind of Parsons, Columbus, Joplin, Miami, Neosho, Monette, Aurora, Cassville, down toward Bentonville as we go through the next couple hours. Let's go ahead and zoom in. We're going to take a tour. Very intense rotation here. This is right on top of Beaver Lake. So we are streaming now at the same time, so our coverage is a little wider on streaming. So right across central parts of Beaver Lake, A lot of people camping. It's Memorial Weekend. You got to take shelter. This has had the history of producing very large tornadoes. You have 2, you have 3, you have 4 tornadoes over the past hour. But this is moving right across Beaver Lake. The rotation part will stay just south of where the dam is. It will go right over the center part of the state. Now you can see some additional thunderstorms popping back up near Siloam Springs, northern parts of Delaware County. That's why we have a severe thunderstorm there. McDonald County, a good storm, but on the north side of this supercell, we're getting large hail. So Seligman, Eagle Rock, kind of over towards Shell Knob, areas are starting to pick up. Cassville, you're kind of on the little bit weaker side of the cell. All right, let's look at this guy. So here's Chautauqua, large hail core. We're talking golf ball upwards to baseball size, moving into at least the south side of Chautauqua. So hail is a big part of these storms, and this hail core and wind core is going to continue right along the state line. So it will eventually affect Miami, Commerce, Baxter, up toward Galena, gusty winds 60 to 70, and then also some very large hail. And then especially the south side of Joplin will get the most intense part of this cell. Now, let's look at our inflow notch here. So we're in northern parts of Craig County. So you can see about 12, 13 miles north of Bonita. This is picked up a little bit, so this is an inflow notch. Okay, now it just weakened a little bit, but that is the part of the storm that could possibly rotate. But right now what's going on is we're getting this cluster from Grand Lake up to Fairland that is now combining with this supercell, and as it does so, it should drop that tornado threat as we go through the next hour or so. All right, very intense winds, large hail. We're looking at southern parts of Cherokee County. Picks up even more. Severe thunderstorm warning. Edna over towards Chautauqua. And again, that hail core is right in here. So from Chautauqua into northern parts of Craig County. We also have a little bit of redevelopment back to the west. Coffeyville took a hard hit. Very large hail, but they have additional thunderstorms which are popping up. So we want to watch those as well as we go through the next couple hours. All right, so let's look at velocity product here. And our little inflow notch is right here. So you can see just due west of Miami. So we'll still have mid-level rotation, but not enough to warrant a tornado. But again, this is going to bring in very gusty winds, Miami, Commerce, eventually Afton, Fairland as well. Let's track a little bit farther south and east. Let's look at this guy. Very intense rotation. Again, this is moving kind of over central eastern parts of Beaver Lake right now, kind of more the southern side of Beaver Lake, but yeah, we're still getting very deep rotation. All right, all these storms push out of here as we get into the morning hours, which is great. Things will start to calm down just a little bit. Let me backtrack here. All right, let's go back to the current warnings. I'm not really worried about covering up programming on the TV side because it's 2:17 in the morning. All right, so tornado warning continues. Central eastern parts of Benton County. Severe thunderstorm warning continues. Southern parts of Berry County, and then Labette, Cherokee, Ottawa, northern parts of Delaware, back through Craig. Keep me on TV here, Cody. I'm going to look at some of the latest warnings, and then I'll jump back over there. Switch the radar kind of to animation here for just a bit. Let's see here. I'm not sure. I'm looking through a few comments. I'm not sure why sirens would be sounding in Carthage. This shouldn't be. Let me go back here just a little bit. Okay, so if you're watching on TV, just remember we're streaming on the KOAM YouTube page and the KOAM Plus app. So we go a little bit more in depth with the streaming on the TV side, but it's 2:17, so I can just let the TV side roll. It's not like primetime programming's on. All right, I just want to go through a few comments and I'll get back on the wall. Let's see. Springdale, Lowell, you guys, the rotation is past you now. We have storms that are filling in behind it. Let's see here. Okay, now I've got confirmed no sirens going off in Carthage, so that is good. Glad they are not, because I would have been very interested why. Of course, on the streaming side, guys, also, I mean, especially when we're dealing with tornadic weather, you know, a lot of people talk to each other, but keep it real. We're all mature adults. Well, some of us, I guess. All right, so supercell still rolling right along the state line of Kansas and Oklahoma. The tornado warning has dropped, but still we're getting golf ball size hail, and winds are gusting kind of in the 60 to 70 mile per hour range, upwards to 80. Let me get the latest warning on that information real quick. Let's see, let me look at all of our severe weather offices. Okay, we still got the warning, McDonald County. Go to this office. Okay, got that. Over here. Yeah, we're getting just large hail out of that supercell. The one in southern parts that is moving out of Lebec County right now and moving northern parts of Craig County, we are getting very large hail. We're getting 1.5 inch toward 2 inch size hail. So that is golf ball upwards to tennis ball size hail. All right, guys, if you are awake, if you're kind of in our northern counties, really firm, I would feel pretty safe going to bed from Pittsburgh up to Fort Scott, Nevada, Lamar, Chanute, Iola, Yates Center, Fredonia, Neodesha. I would feel pretty safe going to bed. We do have some storms redeveloping in Montgomery County, but I think tornado threat pretty much done there. So the areas that we really need to watch now is going to be northeastern Oklahoma, extreme southwest Missouri, south of I-44. But north of I-44, we're talking about some severe thunderstorm warnings, but I think the tornado threat north of I-44 is much lower now, which is good. All right, we got some redevelopment here, northeastern parts of Oklahoma pushing back into Benton County. All right, look at the lightning. So when you get storms that have this much lightning, that shows you how strong they are. When the lightning ticks up, like in our thunderstorm here, that's usually associated with a severe thunderstorm. You see it here in Benton County, but all these storms at least have lightning. So they're all strong storms. So it's gonna be a loud night. Let's see, it's 2:21. So I think now that all this mess is converging, I think from this point on, our tornado threat's slowly going to slope down, which is good. We can deal with severe thunderstorms, but again, we're getting very large hail and very gusty winds. All right, we're going to take a tour again. So look at that baby, moving out of Benton County. So it's really starting to intensify. So this is still on the eastern side of Beaver Lake, very close to Eureka Springs, just to the south of Eureka Springs. Thunderstorms are building back in Benton County. Let's go north. So from Grove north, so just north of Grand Lake. And again, the reason I'm pointing out the lake so much is because it's Memorial Weekend. We have a lot of people camping. We have a lot of people at the lakes, and a lot of them are listening to because they're intense and it's pouring on them. So Grand Lake right now, just some light thunderstorms, but from Grove north into southern parts of Ottawa County, intense storm. We're getting quarter-size hail. And then once you get up toward Miami, you can still see that hail core right there. And that is golf ball upwards to tennis ball size hail. So this is moving in now into the western side of Miami and Commerce. So Miami and Commerce, you're going to get some hail. It's going to be loud. It's going to be large, upwards of golf ball, maybe a little bit bigger. Also, this storm is producing winds at 70 miles per hour, which will take down some trees, limbs. Every now and then, sometimes we get power lines. We still have that couplet, that inflow notch here, which is showing us that mid-level rotation. Let's go to velocity here real quick. Move this east. All right, so just southwest of Miami. See that couplet there? So we are still getting some mid-level rotation, just not strong enough to warrant a tornado warning, which is definitely good news. But man, that hail core is intense. So if you live in Miami, North Miami, Commerce. Hail core's moving in. You can see the hail core goes all the way up past the Kansas, Oklahoma state line, so into southern parts of Cherokee County. So if we project the hail core, what areas are going to see it? Let me zoom in a little bit here, and I'll tell you the towns that really have potential for very large hail. All right, so we are looking Commerce, Miami, Quapaw, downstream Casino, maybe up to Baxter. I think the hail core will stay south of Galena and south of Joplin proper. But Seneca, you guys may be in line for a pretty big hail core, also winds at about 60 miles per hour. We're going to watch the inflow notch. You can see it just northeast of Blue Jacket. That is still mid-level rotation, but you can also see a little mid-level rotation just south of Miami. So let me go back to velocity here and see what I get. Yeah, so near Blue Jacket and a little bit of mid-level rotation south of Miami. Again, not strong enough to warrant any tornado warnings, but we are getting some very intense winds. So you can see this line here. See where the green and the red meet up from Blue Jacket to Veneta, all the way back toward Chelsea. That is a gust front producing 70 mile per hour winds. So we are getting very intense winds with it. Again, strongest of this storm is staying south of Joplin, which is good. Tornado warning, let's see here. Let me see where it's at exactly. So we're looking, okay, so it is just south of Eureka Springs, still on the east side of Beaver Lake. So still Beaver Lake people, you guys want to take shelter, and then it's moving out of the region far enough. Table Rock people, intense thunderstorms now, a lot of thunder, a lot of lightning, and also some quarter-size hail. So a lot of people camping at Table Rock, so watch that. A lot of the big campsites here, so we're looking at Channel Lakes, which is Eagle Rock, over toward Beaver and Holiday Island. Once you get up toward like Shell Knob, not quite as intense. All right, let's go back to Grand Lake. Just some scattered thunderstorms. What's happened here, which has been great, I'm going to go back to the animation here, is we had these two huge supercells, and then storms developed just east of Tulsa and then filled the supercells in. So I've been waiting for this to happen because that takes more of the rotation part out of these storms, but still we're getting the very gusty winds and the large hail across the region. Let's go through a few comments here. Let's see, well, let me look at the latest warnings first. Don't see anything brand new there. Let's see here. We are getting some flash flooding with some of these storms, especially south of I-44, so we need to watch that. All right, let's go back and do a few little comments. Again, guys, if you live really north of I-44, I would feel safe going to bed. Very loud tonight, but I would feel safe going to bed. Ottawa County, you still got a little bit to go. All right, yes, Webb City, you can go to bed, Amber. It's going to be loud, but tornadic part of the storm is looking okay. Getting some hail in Miami. Let's see. Lightning really picking up in Seneca. Of course, Dunawig, Duquesne, you guys are on the east side of Joplin, so we got eventually a severe thunderstorm moving in. Let me look here. I would still, let's see here. Welch, you're still in the very intense core, but things will slowly start to tick down now as we go through the next few hours. Altamont, yeah, you can go to bed. Carthage, I'd feel, it's going to get very loud, but I would kind of watch it for maybe 10 or 15 more minutes. Parsons, you're good to go to bed. Pineville, Missouri, very active here. Very loud, intense winds. So like Neosho, Pineville, Grand Lake, Table Rock Lake, Cassville, Monetta, Roy, still got a ways to go. Station just took a little pop on the power there. See if we pull back up. Yep. All right, our tower just got hit. So lost a little action, lost my TV. So hang on, let me turn my TVs back on. All right, that one's powering up. When you have an 1,100-foot tower right outside your station, it's just a huge lightning rod. So, all right, let me use this one. Okay, so look how the storms have really filled in. Anywhere you see kind of the magenta, pinkish, purplish, I have trouble with colors, is showing us very intense hail cores. So a lot of lightning, a lot of thunder, very intense hail cores. Now moving into Miami and Commerce, very large hail. Golf ball, baseball size hail. Miami, Commerce. Also, we got a hail core just north of the Grove. But besides that, we don't have too much hail. We got a little bit of hail right in southern parts of Cherokee County, which is going to affect really from Baxter downstream over toward Neosho, over towards next couple hours. Let me see that. Please come back up. Come on, Mr. TV. TV, I like to stand on this side of the screen, and of course that TV went out. So, but I got some other ones here. All right, so very big hail core. Zoom in here. So Benton County really getting into the action. All right, look at that hail core. So right on top of Miami, there's still that little inflow notch on the south side of Miami, mid-level rotation, not enough to warrant a tornado warning. This cell is moving east, southeast. You can see how it filled in right on top of Seneca, just west of Neosho. But this cell is dropping through Ottawa County. Very large hail. Let's track a little farther north. You can see that severe thunderstorm warning goes right up almost, and then right on the west side of Joplin. Right on the west side of Joplin, we'll see if Joplin proper gets put into a severe thunderstorm warning as this storm works through. Again, track a little farther south. Also with this storm, we're getting winds 60 to 70 miles per hour. But I think the biggest threat right now is hail. Still have a tornado threat. Ottawa County, Delaware County, Benton County, McDonald County, a little bit lower in Neosho or Newton County. And then I would say that tornado threat extends over into Berry County. I think besides that, we're mainly looking at very gusty winds and very large hail. All right, let me check out a few of the latest things. We do have some storms which are picking back up. Independence, so just north of Independence, there is a little hail on us, half-dollar size hail, just northwest of Independence. Pittsburgh, Girard, picking up intense storm, not severe. Nevada down to Lamar, moderate thunderstorm. Tornado warning down near Beaver Lake. Let's see if it's past Beaver Lake yet. Okay, yeah, so it's southeast of Eureka Springs. So if you're in Beaver Lake, your rotating part of the cell has now pushed through. So you can at least come out of your safe spot there. Table Rock Lake, getting some good showers and thunderstorms. You can really see the rains really picked up. Neosho to Goodman, over towards Seneca, showers and thunderstorms. Stella. Joplin, now rain is starting to pick up. I'm looking at our tower cam and a lot of lightning. Rain's moderate. Carl Junction, you're going to start to pick things up. Webb City, Orange. This is going to, the weaker side of the storm. And then, let me take this off here. Let's do this. Give me 1 second. All right, so here's our monster hail. So you can see the monster hail track. So it went from Caney. We had over baseball size hail west of Coffeyville, and then you can see the biggest hail tracked right through northern parts of Craig County, right through Welch, now moving into Miami. A little bit of hail north of the Grove, a ton of hail, again, Benton County as well. Everybody else, we're not seeing much in the way of hail. which is good. All right, let me put this in motion here so see how things are working together. Yeah, this cluster of storms that is in Newton County, Neosho, really saved us because that tornado was rolling right along the state line of Kansas and Oklahoma, and it pretty much clogged the pattern up, which is great. So that is good news to see. Let's see here. But intense storms moving into Joplin, but again, not too strong. Let's see, Haley, yeah, Lawrence County, you guys are really getting into it here in the next hour, but I think the severe weather, the bulk of the severe weather is going to stay kind of southern part of the county. All right, let me look at the latest here. We're going to have a really big flash flooding threat from Grand Lake through Joplin, Table Rock Lake, and then over toward Branson. This rain has been intense, so especially if you're out camping, Roaring River, just watch that because those areas flood, and we're going to get some very, very heavy amounts of rain. Let me look through a couple other things here. Switching through National Weather Service offices. Okay. Let's see here. Look at one of the latest models real quick. Yeah, once we can get this cluster through, we're looking really good. Even though we've had the supercells, which, you know, they occurred just like they were supposed to today, we've had some confirmed tornadoes, but at least majority of us have been decent through this, as all the big action has been kind of in our southern counties. All right, let's go back into Ottawa County. You can see this intense storm, which is continuing to push through. Hail core still. There's a hail core from just west of Fairland, up to Miami, up to Quapaw and Commerce, and then you can still see the inflow notch on the south side of Miami. Not enough to warrant a tornado warning. And then intense little hail core just south of Seneca. And then everything else is looking at least better, but we still have our severe thunderstorm warning southern parts of Cherokee County. Okay, now we got a new one fired as this cell keeps moving in. So now we got Newton County, McDonald County, and then eastern parts of Craig County. Let me get the latest on that latest warning that just pushed out. Oh my gosh, hail is just so big. Okay, so Newton County, McDonald County threat in the eastern parts of Ottawa County. Storms picked up, so it's moving at 45 miles per hour now, which is great. But the hail is, we've been getting some softball size hail, which goes through everything, obviously. Cars, windows, ticks off the siding off your house. So we are getting some 3-inch size hail, baseball to softball size. We're also getting winds at 70 miles per hour. So, I mean, these are, even though the tornado warning is gone, but these are about pretty close to as intense as these storms. So, very, very big hail, very gusty winds continuing to push through. So, let's go back here. Let's take a little bit of a tour. All right, so I know a lot of people stayed up very late with me. It's 2:37. We do have this storm, Independence. Yeah, it's not looking too bad, but I really think Parsons North, Independence North. You got a big storm in Pittsburgh, but Pittsburgh North, really Columbus North. Joplin, you're going to get a lot of rain. It's going to be very loud. Tornado threat's much lower, so I really say north of I-44. If you want to go to sleep, it's going to be very loud, but I think you're going to be fine. All right, let's track a little bit farther south and look at these cells here, because we still have Lawrence County is going to get pretty active. Berry County, of course, thunderstorms picking up. You can see Still that tornado warning working east of Beaver Lake, but out of our region, so we don't need to talk about it anymore. Benton County, a lot of hail. But McDonald County, you have a severe thunderstorm warning, and that is due to the winds at 70, and then anywhere from golf ball upwards to baseball size hail. Very intense. A little hail core just south of Seneca. Neosho, your rain is starting to pick up, but the most intense part of the storm is now east of Miami. So really from, you can see this little curvature, there's a little inflow notch, but right on this leading edge. So Seneca, your winds are really going to pick up, and also your hail is going to pick up. Joplin, though, is kind of on the north side of this storm, so I do think from downstream, Baxter up to Galena, Carl Junction, Joplin down to Mercy, even Carthage, Sarcoxy, an intense storm, severe thunderstorm, quarter-size hail, winds at 60. Nothing too bad. We can get through that. Not a big deal. But it picks up south of Joplin as this wind line continues to drive south and east into Newton County and also McDonald County. That's where we're going to have, obviously, the issues with the very large hail. But things overall are starting to look a little bit better, starting to clear up a little bit more. And I've been telling people who've been on this stream for a long time that I really think 3 o'clock is when we pretty much lower, and we're getting close to that. So I do think at least that is looking better. I still think, let me draw here, I still think we have, just with this cell dropping through, you know, we still kind of have a tornado threat in this circle. If you're not in that circle, I don't really see much of a tornado threat. Yes, it's going to be loud. Yes, some small hail. But in this circle, we still have at least a low tornado threat, very gusty winds at 70, and then also some very large hail. All right, let me go back here. Let me see here, latest. Okay, so yeah, Newton County, McDonald County, bunker down. Again, it's not a tornado, but the winds are at 70 miles per hour to 75, which are very, very damaging. And then the hail is just ginormous. Let me look here. So we're seeing, you know, kind of baseball size, a little bigger than baseball size. I looked up 3-inch hail and it says large apple. So not a small apple, but a big apple. So I guess we're talking about an apple. All right, let me go through a few of you guys' questions here. Yeah, I sent Lindsay home because Lindsay's been at work all day, and she's still, I can see her on the other computer, she's still pushing warnings, so she's still working. She's been working all day. Okay, let's see here. Rusty, he says Miami, Sparklight, internet, maybe a little shaky. Webb is getting hit pretty good now. The winds have really picked up. Hail. Again, inside my circle, that's where I still think we have kind of a tornado threat, but very destructive storms pushing into Newton and McDonald County. We're talking about winds 70 miles per hour, but very, let me jump back here. I mean, you can see this. I mean, look at this hail core. This is just intense. Look at that. So, I mean, pushing right through High Winds Casino. Seneca, man, if you can put your car inside, I would jump on it really fast. Wyandotte, very intense hail all the way back to Fairland. You can see the hail has really picked up just southeast of Seneca over toward Goodman. I mean, just very, very intense hail core. Let's see here. Let's go back. Let's see. Go down through a few more of your comments. Ultra prime, yeah, diamond. You're gonna get kind of skirted on the north side of the most intense winds and hail, so that is good. Someone, yes, I would feel safe going to bed in Joplin. It's going to be loud, it's going to be intense, but I would feel safe. Let me look at the kind of the movement again of these storms. This cluster's now kind of shifted east. We still got several hours of storms, but we're talking about the intense, severe part here. Hail core is just ginormous, eastern parts of Ottawa County. Let's see here. Jackie Springfield, yeah, you guys are going to get into the action, but I think this is the main show. I think once this cluster really comes together and then pushes south and east, everything will start to weaken just a little bit. Granby, you guys are kind of on the northern edge, but still winds at 16, some large hail. Yeah, Fairview is kind of right in the middle, just east of it's winds and hail right on top of High Winds Casino. Again, if you live north of I-44, I would feel safe going to sleep. Just so you guys know. Rissy Roo says the lightning is super intense or wild just east of Seneca. I'm looking at our tower cam now, and the lightning is crazy outside. So, I mean, very electric shows. But again, here's what we're watching. Ottawa County pushing into Newton County. Let's see, downstream, you're kind of right on the northern edge, but I feel pretty safe. I mean, anybody north of I-44, downstream's barely north of I-44. I would feel pretty decently safe. Okay, let's see here. Carthage is looking better. Sheila. Jason says heavy rain in Columbus. Let's see. Yeah, again, the edge of it, but it'll get quite a bit better here. Chris, we got to see how fast these storms get out and how fast the atmosphere can recover, because we could get a few bigger storms early afternoon in southwestern Missouri for tomorrow, but most of the severe weather is going to be just east. All right, so let's go north. All right, again, southeastern Kansas, I wouldn't worry, I'd be in bed. Nevada South, Jasper, Pittsburgh, you got an intense storm. All the way down to Columbus, heavy rain, a big light show, but I'm not really worried about anything tornadic or big wind gusts. We still have a pretty strong storm moving through northern parts of Montgomery County, but I haven't seen anything severe. You can really see, I mean, where it just really jumps here. So Miami, you're getting back on the safer side of this storm. Just intense hail core, very strong winds of 70, 75 miles per hour. So this is now pushing into Newton County. So if you're not in this sector, I would be asleep. I live up here. I would be asleep if I wasn't working, but this is pretty intense. So we're getting very gusty winds. These two hail cores are kind of coming together. So still, eastern Ottawa County, it's going to be loud still. Grand Lake, some heavy amounts of rain. Again, guys, if you guys are camping, watch those low-lying areas, because anywhere from Grand Lake to Table Rock Lake, Roaring River, even Pineville Knoll, Elk River to Beaver Lake, we're going to get some flash flooding because the rain is intense. So watch those low-lying areas. All right, so intense hail core. So really south of Neosho. I mean, this is going to clip Neosho. It's going to get some intense wind and hail. And then eventually we'll get over into Berry County a little bit later. But this is what we got left of all this madness. We've had several tornadoes that have touched down, especially in our southern counties. And the hail has just been very, very intense throughout the afternoon. Okay, let's see here. look at a couple things real quick. Okay, let me check out a couple things here. I'm not really worried about that northern band like I was earlier. I think it's going to stay to just north of us. Let's see here. We're getting some smaller hail north of I-44, PCI's Columbus, over toward Joplin. Just very intense. Let me see here. Okay, I'm just checking out the latest on warnings here. Bear with me. Look at one of the latest models here. Okay. We're still getting, I get large apple-sized hail. So Seneca, you guys are right into it. Fairland, Miami, you're still getting some hail. Hail is picking up, very intense rain. Neosho, Goodman, we're getting winds at 60 to 70 miles per hour. Let's go through a few comments here. People who are still with me. Let's see, lightning's been super intense. Yeah, Pittsburgh, you guys are pouring, but again, it's just it's an intense storm. There is some small hail just northeast of Frontenac that could affect Liberal. So we're talking smaller than a quarter, but still, I mean, it's hail. Independence, still a pretty good storm. Everything else though is looking much better. I'm really kind of mainly just, let's see here. I'm really just kind of concerned for kind of in this region. So really that only includes about 4 counties: Eastern Ottawa, Newton, McDonald, Barry County, Benton County. Yeah, long night. Over in Republic, I would still pay attention a little bit, but again, I think now that these clusters have kind of come together, it's going to overall start to lower that severe threat. Yeah, I keep looking at the tower cam. The lightning is incredible. I mean, unbelievably electric storms. If you guys don't know, I got struck by lightning when I was 12, so lightning does scare the poop out of me. But that's about it. Okay, let's see. Yeah, guys, north of I-44, I think you are fine to sleep. So that does include Joplin, Carthage, of course, Columbus, Baxter, Galena. It's loud night, but I wouldn't worry about anything damaging. Let's see. Yeah, Neosho, it's really coming down now. Very intense, some large hail. In my circle, we have the severe thunderstorm threat, we have the large hail threat, and we do have a continued somewhat of a tornado threat. A much, much lower tornado threat, but still, it is there. And this stretches all the way over toward Branson as well. So there's a lot of people at the lakes, Branson through Table Rock. So that extension, that is going to continue, that threat. Overall, I mean, gosh, still south of Berryville, there's still some rotation, but got a couple low inflow notches, meaning mid-level rotation near Goodman, maybe a little mid-level rotation south of Seneca, but we're mainly getting just very intense winds, very large hail with these storms. It's almost 3 a.m. All right, let's go. We'll go all the way back here. All right, so tornado watch is still out across southeastern Kansas. I do think that's going to drop off here probably the next hour. Also northeastern Oklahoma, I do think that will drop off here. Still, we're mainly looking along south of I-44. A lot of people are saying, let's see, Shannon says power is out in Miami, which doesn't surprise me at all with winds at 70 to 75. Anywhere in McDonald County, bunker down. These storms are coming in, and large hail, gusty winds. Anybody in Newton County, especially Neosho South, kind of bunker down. The most intense part of the cell is moving out of Ottawa County and staying just north of Grove, just north of Grand Lake, just kind of clipping the north side of Grand Lake. Wyandotte, you're doing better. Threat is pretty much done. Diamond, you're good. Much done. Diamond, you're good. Yes, Columbus, you're fine to sleep. Let's see, quarter-inch hail in Seneca. Brian Mac 09 is stating. Let's see here. But yeah, Neosho's hail is going to be getting bigger, and the winds are very intense. So look at the lightning, very intense electric storms. So even the non-severe storms are very electric, meaning a lot of lightning across the region. So yeah, let's see, a lot of people, Knoll, kind of Elk River. I'm a little concerned about flash flooding there. So if you're camping, Knoll, Elk River, all the way down to Roaring River, watch that low water, because on all those areas, it rises so fast. Let's see. Okay, let me look here. Looking at some of you guys' comments. All right, so let's take a little glance through. Again, really north of I-44, I'm not too worried about you. We're mainly talking south of I-44. Very intense wind. We're getting winds at 70 to 75. Now pushing into Newton County, pushing out of Ottawa County. Seneca down to Hart, Goodman, Neosho. And very large hail. Again, we're getting 3-inch, 3.5-inch size hail, which is pretty intense. Let's look at the velocity and see some of these winds. Okay, so you can see this wind line. So really from Seneca, so where the green and the red meet, that is our gust front. That is where we're seeing those winds at 70 to 75. A little mid-level rotation on the south side of Neosho. Back toward Miami, Commerce, Quapaw, very intense rain and still some hail, but you are improving. Welch improving, Chautauqua, Baxter, all improving. So right now we're mainly kind of focused on Newton County and McDonald County as we go through the next hour or so as these storms continue to push east. Let me backtrack here. But look at that hail core. I mean, that is intense. Just huge hail core. So here, let's take that off here. I don't know how, I mean, look where the hail has tracked. Really from Coffeyville, and it was very big west at Coffeyville. This only goes back 2 hours. So right through northern parts of Craig County, right through Miami, Seneca, and then now starting to pick up in the Neosho area. But very big hail core, very heavy rains, very electric storm, and we are getting those winds at about 70 miles per hour. Again, north of I-44, which includes Joplin, I would go to bed. It's just intense rain, a lot of thunder, a lot of lightning. I do think in Miami now you can go to bed. Northeastern Oklahoma, I'm not really concerned about you too much anymore. I mean, just north of Grove, we have very intense spots over to Seneca, but the tornadic potential part of that storm has pushed through. So we're really just looking at Newton County into McDonald County and eventually into Berry County as well. But man, that is an intense hail core. Let me look through here. Yeah, I would sleep in Joplin, guys. McDonald, Benton County, tired. Yeah, I'm tired as well. We're just looking at very intense winds. Yeah, the stream may be glitching a little bit because our tower keeps getting struck by lightning. So, you know, glitches a little bit. Like I said, these are very electric winds. Okay, let's see here. Nicholas, Nicholas, there is some mid-level rotation near Neosho, but I haven't seen anything that's in the lower levels. So, but again, that's good. And again, anybody north of I-44, you are good to go to bed. Let me look at the latest warnings here. Let's see here. Hail right now is 2.75 inches, which would be about the size of a normal apple. So very large hail. That's enough to bust windshields, bust windows, take siding off houses. Winds are still gusting 75 miles per hour, pushing through Newton and now pushing into McDonald County. So, I mean, pretty intense, obviously. Let's see. Flash flood warning is going out now for Newton and McDonald County. Again, that does include the Elk River, so near Knoll, Roaring River, in southern Berry County. So just watch those low-lying areas very much. Let's see here. Let's check out the velocity again just to make sure we're not getting really anything that's trying to rotate, because we have had that mid-level rotation. Yeah, we still have mid-level rotation just west of Neosho. Little clusters, you can see just west of Neosho between Seneca and Neosho with that gust front, and then a little bit of rotation, some mid-level on the east side of Neosho as well. So let me shift that just southeast of Neosho. So we'll watch those. Wind and the hail are just intense as they continue to push through the region. Okay. Yeah, let's go back. We'll look at even non-severe areas. So let's go back here. Take a little tour around. Let me set this up. Okay. We'll go from west to east. Oh, we got to take the hail tracks off. Okay. Again, guys, it's late. It's after 3 a.m. I wouldn't worry about anything tornadic north of I-44. If I were you, I would be in bed. All right, let's check this out. So still intense storms from Independence to Parsons. So loud, electric, nothing severe. You can see thunderstorms from Oswego to Chautauqua. Let's track farther east. We got heavy rain up 69 to Pittsburgh, and then pretty intense storms, very electric, loud, from Liberal moving into Lamar, south in Veda, over towards Stockton. A lot of people are camping out there. Very intense rain, but again, nothing tornadic. They've had a lot of rain at Stockton Lake, so do watch for the potential of a little bit of flash flooding. Let's track south. So now we're looking from Lamar to Jasper to Carthage. Rain picking up in Carthage, Webb City, Oronogo. Very intense rain, especially on the south side of Joplin. So from downstream over to Mercy, very intense rain, and then you can see the reds here that go up through Carl Junction, up to Asbury, just west of Jasper. So very intense rain, but we're not seeing much in the way of severe weather. Again, once you get into the purple here, very intense hail core. Let's look at northeastern Oklahoma real quick. Things starting to calm down on the backside. We've had some redevelopment of thunderstorms, but everything's just kind of mushing together now. So here's Bonita, over to Miami, still heavy amounts of rain. Let's look at Grand Lake. Again, guys, I'm focusing so much on the lakes because it's Memorial Weekend. We got so many people camping and at the lake. So south side of Grand Lake looking pretty good. Extremely intense hail and wind. Ottawa County, you are looking much better. Right now, all this purple. I mean, very intense hail core. Southeast side of Neosho, very intense hail core from Central. down to Goodman, just north of Pineville. So all this very windy. We're also at this leading edge here. We're getting winds at 75 miles per hour. So that is the strength of almost a weak tornado. These are straight line winds. We're getting some microbursts in these clusters. So real quick downdrafts, like if you take a glass of water and pour it over on the ground, how it splats out. So that's what the winds do. They rush down and kind of splat out. So we get some straight line wind damage. Have had some mid-level rotation, but I'm really more concerned now just of the straight line wind and the hail. The hail is about the size of an apple. That will go break your windshield, put massive dents in your car. That will put holes in your, especially with the wind. So with a northwest wind, and so it will put massive holes into your vinyl siding. It's going to damage roof, but we've had so much hail tonight. It's been just crazy. So Seneca and Neosho, again, the winds are picking up. McDonald County now. Let's go look at Benton County, looking way better. They had very large hail and had a confirmed large tornado on the ground. So there's going to be some tornado damage, especially just west of Bentonville. Let's go over toward Table Rock. Beaver Lake looking a lot better as well. Table Rock, Seligman, over toward Eagle Rock, Roaring River, Shell Knob. Very intense rain. Back toward Beaver, Holiday Island. Very intense rain, but it's going to pick up as that storm moves in. Cassville, things are really picking up. Aurora, over to Monette, very intense rain. And look at that hail core. So just east of Neosho. So that, I guarantee, is baseball size hail. So that is very intense, maybe closer to softball size hail. So we'll go back to the large apple to softball size hail. So very intense. And this wind on the leading edge too, we're getting those winds 70 to 75 miles per hour. So let me move it back here again. We're streaming on KOM YouTube and the KOM Plus app, so that's why I'm jumping on and off of TV. But we're just leaving you up because there's no programming at 3 a.m. Let me look at the latest warnings. We'll go through some more comments. Let's see here. Winds up 60. Yep. Let me zoom this out a little bit. Man, once we can get this dude out of here, I think we're in good shape. Still going to be loud till about 6 o'clock in the morning, but I think we're going to be in pretty good shape after that. Okay, let's go back to YouTube. Let's scroll up a little bit here. Jayhawk 213. Man, the pasta was good. My wife made it. She wanted to make sure I had food this time instead of complaining to everybody how hungry I was. I think that was about 5 or 6 streams ago. We've had so much severe weather this spring. It's been kind of crazy, but yeah, it was pretty good. Let's see, still eastern Ottawa County, very gusty winds. I'm looking at our tower cam at Joplin. The rain is going sideways. So I know we're getting some very gusty winds, even though Joplin's not in the severe part of the cell. Yes, guys, anybody north of I-44, go to sleep. Kansas, Joplin, Carthage North, Ottawa County, go to sleep. Let's see, hail's picking up in Granby. Let's see here. A lot of people asking about Granby. Yeah, you're in the very intense part of the storm. You know, you can see from Diamond, Granby, yeah, you're getting pretty intense winds at 70 to 75. The biggest hail core is just south of Granby. Newtonia is just getting smacked right now. Very large hail. Let's see. These storms are going to go, they're going to head over into Berry County and then eventually toward Branson. I think the overall, they're not going to get to Branson for another hour, but I think the overall trend will be weakening as it pushes east. They're still going to be very intense with very intense hail and wind as they push through Newton and also McDonald County. So that's why I got the map in here. Let's see. Yeah, Nicholas, yeah, I can see on our tower cam, yeah, the storm going through Joplin. It's definitely intense. The winds are sitting, we're clocking at about 56 miles per hour on the south side, which is right at severe limits, kind of a weak severe storm. But yeah, the lightning is crazy. Yeah, we did. We had 2 tornadoes on the ground in Benton County earlier, which was tornadoes. They rotate cyclonic or anti-clockwise. My brain's frying. Counterclockwise. I was like, anti-clockwise? Counterclockwise. But because we had a sister tornado that developed, it rotated clockwise. So it was interesting to see for sure. Yeah, guys, even though Joplin, City, Oronogo, Carthage, even though we aren't under the warning, you can see the warning kind of picks up South Middle School, Saginaw. It's still very intense going through Joplin right now. A lot of thunder, a lot of lightning. Winds are kind of in that 50 to 60 mile per hour range. And we are getting some small hail, but the most intense part by far, you can see Neosho, over toward Crowder College, and then stretching back west along 60. And remember, 60 goes all the way up toward Granby. I mean, just very large hail. Newtonia, and then heads over toward Monette. So Monette, really Monette south. So let's zoom in a little bit. So Pierce City, Monette, Purdy, over toward Aurora, are all going to see this intense storm. Cassville, Wheaton, Seligman, eventually Eagle Rock, all gets into this. I think it will slowly kind of back off a little bit, but right now, man, I mean, storm's cruising. We have this wind shift line here, right on the front here. We're getting winds at 75 miles per hour, and this is, plowing south and east. And we're getting a little bit of a bowing structure, meaning the winds may be picking up even a little bit more. So from Knoll, Pineville, I mean, we really need to watch it. A lot of people camping, of course. Those winds are cruising, so you want to definitely button down the hatches. But yeah, look at the hail. I mean, it's crazy. So from Highway 60 over to Granby, winds are at 70 to 75, and then the hail from like Granby all the way down to Pineville. A lot of it is golf ball upwards to size of an apple, which is kind of crazy. Let's see. Zoom back out. Let's take this off. We'll look at the latest warnings. Okay, now we got a severe thunderstorm warning up in Jasper County, Burton County, as the rain and the winds have picked up a little bit. Let me get the latest on that warning. Okay, hang on. So we're getting 1 inch size hail in this storm. So 1 inch size hail is about the size of a quarter. And we're getting winds at 60. Remember I told you they were just cranking 56 in Joplin, and I said it's right below severe limits. So now once it hit that 60 category, then we can go ahead and call it a severe thunderstorm warning. So new severe thunderstorm warning, Burton County, Carthage, over to northern parts of Lawrence County into Dade County. And again, this is for winds at 60 and quarter size hail. This is not anything tornadic that I've been seeing. So you can see the winds have picked up. That little guy south of Parsons has increased a little bit. Let me loop this here the last 2 hours. So you can see this huge storm just plows right through Ottawa County, right into McDonald and Newton County. And then we've had a little bit of intensifying of the storm that is really from I-49 Lamar to Carthage, as it's intensifying a little bit, the winds have picked up. That's what fired off the severe thunderstorm warning now for really from Lamar to Carthage. You can see Joplin proper's kind of butted in the middle. Over toward Lockwood, so Lamar, Jasper, Carthage, you're barely in the warning. Greenfield, Lockwood, Golden City, all going to be in this warning. And then kind of Stockton Lake again. So Stockton Lake's been hit pretty hard tonight, but watch those winds. They're going to be up there as we go through the next several hours. All right, guys, give me 1 second here. My mic is going to get a little bit shaky because I'm moving it because I want to take my jacket off because I'm kind of hot. So I apologize. Okay, so Stockton Lake down to Arcola, Jericho Springs. This is not near as strong as what we're seeing in Newton and McDonald County, but we are getting winds at 60 and quarter-size hail. So this is affecting Carthage up to Jasper along the I-49 corridor all the way up to Sheldon, Missouri. Still the most intense storms south of I-44. So look at the difference here. Winds at 60 and quarter-size hail to winds at 75 and baseball to softball size hail. So very intense. Now through Newtonia, Stella, moving in on you. Very intense all the way back to Anderson, Pineville. Very large hail, but again, this storm is bowing out in 2 areas. So when I say bow, kind of looks like a bow and arrow. So in 2 areas, so these are showing the very intense wind. So the wind, it's a downdraft behind it. That colder air pushes down and pushes out. So we can go right through here. So, 2 very intense areas of wind. So this is going to be moving into Berry County now over the next 10 minutes. These storms have picked up speed. They were moving very slow earlier, and now they're just bucking. Let me take that off. Let's see here. Let's zoom out. We got tornado warning south of Branson, not affecting Branson, down toward Harrison, Arkansas. Let me loop this again so I can put this together. So all the heavier storms now on the Missouri side, biggest storms out of Oklahoma are gone, which is great. We have our one intense storm, literally intense, down across Newton and McDonald County, and then our low-grade severe storms from Carthage, Lamar, Lockwood, Greenfield, up toward Stockton Lake. Do have a little guy back toward Parsons, which he may strengthen as he moves into Missouri. But now that everybody's pretty much had showers and thunderstorms, the atmosphere will become a little bit overworked. So hail's just been super intense. Just crazy hail. Okay, let's zoom up here. Lindsay home because Lindsay came in at like 2 and she was here until after midnight, and she's still been working some from home. So she's at home. I came in later. I came in around 7:30 or so, and so dealing with been doing that since here. Let's see. Neosho is the threat for tornadoes have pretty much kind of passed. We still in Missouri, Northwest Arkansas. Anytime you have a severe storm, you always have at least a low chance for tornadic activity. But I think the time of strong, intense tornadoes has now passed. Unless if you're kind of on the leading edge, like we're still seeing a tornado warning in north central Arkansas. Let's see here. A lot of thunder, guys. Overall, Joplin's good. We do have the severe thunderstorm warning, eastern parts of Jasper, eastern parts of Barton, into Dade and Cedar County. But again, this is a low-grade severe thunderstorm. So we're talking winds at 60, quarter-size hail. Whole different story when you get down into Newton County, which is about ready to slam into Berry County because those have winds very, very strong. Let's see. All right, so remember, so we're kind of all over the place. We're on TV. It's the middle of the night, so I'm just leaving it running. We always stream on the KOAM YouTube. We always stream on the KOAM Plus app, which we're going to be doing a lot more stuff on the KOAM Plus app. So if you haven't downloaded that, make sure you do. Okay, let me go back through. Yeah, Emily, let's see here. Let me stop this. Let's see. The worst is past downstream, Baxter, Galena. The worst, Seneca. The worst is past you. Southwest City, still pretty intense. It's still pretty intense. Knoll, Pineville, up to Goodman, but you guys are getting better. Neosho's getting better. The most intense is really from Granby over toward Newtonia. Stella, a very big hail. Wheaton, things are really going to get rocking for you here very shortly. Cassville, this is on your doorstep now, so we're talking about 15 minutes away. So let me show you our bowing segments again. So we got a little bow here. So this is where we're getting winds at 75, and then another big bow here, and that whole edge. So really those two lines I drew, we're getting winds at 75 miles per hour. This will affect Monette as well. Monette, you're kind of on the northern edge, but Monette, Pierce City, you guys will get some winds cranking 65 to 70. And then also on top of that, we're looking at large hail, probably 1 to 2 inch size hail, which of course will do damage. Let's see here. Reading through some more comments. Yeah. Let's do that. You guys want to do some sleep shaping here? All right, let's do this. Okay. We're going to do this. We are going to go to sleep Grand Lake right to about Knoll, up to Neosho, up through Joplin, and right along the I-44 corridor, and all the way back. So it kind of looks like a pop, right on the stove. That is your go-to-sleep circle. That is, I mean, if you are in that circle, go to sleep. Still over towards Springfield, and then this cluster here, and then of course following this guy in Benton County, even Branson, Springfield. You know, we still have at least a low tornado threat. So I mean, if I was a viewer, I would have kind of timed out the storms and gone to sleep and then woke up when they start plowing through. But so the pot on the stove, you can go to bed. The piece of toast, still need to watch it. So that's what we're looking at. Okay. We go through a few more questions here. Let's see here. Yeah, Cassville, right on your doorstep, guys. Granby, you are going to start improving very quickly. Let's see. So, good news there. Stark City, it's still pretty intense for you. Yeah, Anderson, all of McDonald County and really all of Newton County just got rocked. Yeah, CJ, you're good to go. Dunawig, yeah, go. So, Pineville, yeah, still kind of intense. So again, we got a severe storm from Carthage, Jasper, Lamar to Sheldon. Winds at 60 and quarter-size hail is going to be moving into, again, Stockton Lake, Greenfield, Lockwood, but we're not getting anything super intense like what we're getting down south. We do have some thunderstorms that have developed behind this batch, but we can't rule out that they fire off a severe thunderstorm warning. Still Grand Lake, getting quite a bit of action, but this is just intense. So look at this bow echo. So, I mean, the winds, let me get the latest on the winds in here. Let's see. We are getting 75-mile-per-hour winds and upwards of about 2-inch size hail. So that's a little bigger than golf ball size hail. Of course, very damaging. But look at this bow echo. So it's moving into Monette and then all the way down through Berry County. So, I mean, we're talking 4 or 5 miles west of Cassville and all the way down into northern parts of Benton County, kind of about Bella Vista. But again, this is plowing south and east. So in line next, if we look at over the next 30 minutes or so. All right, Monette, Purdy to Cassville. I mean, Monette, you're on the Aurora. Those are the two biggest cities. Or towns, not really a city, towns. So clipping, definitely on the north side, but hail and very windy in Monette. Aurora, you're kind of getting clipped. Cassville, you guys are going to get rocked with very gusty winds, 70 to 75, and at least golf ball size hail. That stretches south toward Washburn, all the way back to Bella Vista, Pea Ridge, Garfield, Seligman. So now we're getting into Table Rock, Seligman over toward Eagle Rock, Beaver, Holiday Island, Shell Knob, Emerald Beach. You guys are all, Roaring River. You guys are all in line for very intense winds and very large hail. So over the next 20 minutes, it's going to plow through Berry County. Looking, I mean, still intense back in McDonald County, but at least looking a little bit better in Neosho. You and Seneca, you guys have greatly improved. We do still have thunderstorms, but they're not severe. And then still we're seeing winds at 60. So you can see we have a couple areas that have kind of curled out here. So we're getting winds at 60. And we're seeing quarter size hail, size of a quarter. Usually quarter size hail, or roughly 3/4 of an inch. That's where it usually starts putting some dings in your car, and a little bit of roof damage. So these storms are strong enough to put some dings in your car. They'd be small, but they're strong enough. So in line with those next, let's see. So Stockton Lake again, Jericho Springs, Cedar, Greenfield, Golden City, Lockwood, Red Miller, Avila. You guys are all in line next for winds at 60 and roughly hail the size of quarters. Down here again. We got to get this baby through. Once we get this baby through, we are looking pretty good. Still pretty intense. Heaviest hail is pushed out of Granby, but now bearing down on Wheaton and Stella. Very intense right now. Wrigley, Exeter. Exeter, a lot of people know because they have the huge, Halloween corn maze event park. So that's only a few miles outside of Cassville. And then Washburn, you're really going to get into it all the way back toward Powell, still very intense hail. And then really to Pineville. So that stretch from Pineville to Bella Vista, pretty intense. The heaviest winds right now, kind of in this sector. So pushing into Berry County. I do want to see, it looks like we're probably getting some mid-level rotation here. Let's take a look. interesting. Had the clustered storms that merged. Definitely got some rotation there. Just kind of switch a couple different sources. Let's check this out. Yeah, just west of Washburn, we're definitely getting some rotation. If that tightens up, so getting some rotation in here. This is getting close to kind of Roaring River and all that area, but if that tightens up, that's got to be issued as a tornado warning. So we'll watch that. But very intense winds, of course. So let's keep watching that area. Go back to reflectivity. Yeah, you can see the little notch here. Yeah, so that's tightened up a little bit. So got to watch that. Got to watch that. Oh, that's tightened up a little more even. Look at that. So that's just southwest of Cassville, but that's got to be watched because if that tightens up, that'll fire off a tornado warning. But we still have the Boeing segments. All right, let's look at this guy again. In most intense eastern parts of Barton County, so Lamar to Golden City, Lockwood, you're next. We are getting winds 60 to 65 in here. Hail's not near as big. It's about quarter size, but still, I mean, we've got to watch that. All right, let's look here. And then everything really picks up once you get down. Monette, Purdy, and I'm going to switch it back so we can see the hail cores too. Ford, yeah. So you can see where the biggest hail core is. So right on top of Washburn, that's where the biggest hail is. But also huge hail moving into Cassville right now, very close to Seligman. So if we zoom in here, these roads are extremely hilly. Extremely windy. Chain of Lakes is Eagle Rock. You guys are next in line. Let's go up to Roaring River here. Zoom in. Let's see here. Okay. So 86, 86, 86. Okay, so Roaring River is right about here. So getting into the very intense rain and wind, and I mean, just monster hail is going to go right through Roaring River. A lot of people are camping there. You guys need to buckle down and buckle down fast because it's going to get crazy at Roaring River. Yeah, Granby, you guys are looking much better. Now, the most intense part of this storm is in Berry County and then southern parts of McDonald County. Yeah, guys, I mean, I'm reading Heather's comment. Didn't somebody say there's a tornado on the ground 6 miles from Lamar? We do get a lot of trollers on here who just like to scare people, which I think is extremely immature, and I think it's ridiculous. I don't know why people hide behind a keyboard. I'm also Gen X, so, but yeah, so if I don't say it, then it's not verified. But yeah, we do get some trolls and spammers, and there's just not much you can do about it. Diamond, you're looking a lot better. Let's see here. Hale and Fairview, yeah. Megan says, FYI, Whataburger is busy. I forgot Whataburger is open 24 hours a day. I'm waiting for the Webb City one to open. I like Whataburger. Some people love it, some people hate it, but I'm actually a fan. All right, so look at the intense hail. So driving into Cassville now. So hail's really picking up. So where Walmart is on the west side of town, then you go down the street toward McDonald's, and you got O'Reilly's. You can tell I go to the lake a lot, so I drive through this town all the time. So hail really picking up in Cassville, very intense winds. let's see here, rotation near Washburn, which of course we're keeping our eyes on. Hayden said Bentonville, Rogers, and Shambles. Yeah, I mean, there's a large tornado on the ground that went right through there, so that's going to be interesting to see what happened. In fact, that storm is still producing a tornado over in Harrison, Arkansas, so way east. So that cell, it carried a tornado all the way back from Claremore. I mean, so it's been on like producing tornadoes for like 5 hours. That's intense. And then a cell that's in Cassville also had a tornado on the ground briefly back near Coffeyville. So it's been going for a long, long time. Let's look at these northern cells. Still, we got a severe thunderstorm warning. It's out of Lamar now, out of Carthage, out of Sheldon. It's now pushing into, you can see the more intense kind of winds. It's 60 and quarter-size hail, but if you're looking at Golden City over toward Lockwood, picking up for you guys. Eventually Greenfield. Again, this is a severe storm, but it's not as intense as what we were seeing down south. Let's see, Jay Graves said the winds are picking up in Golden City, which they should be because you're right on that little bow. And there is a hail core just west of you, so you may get some. So Jay Graves, you may get some at least quarter-size hail in Golden City. Storms picking back up. Pittsburgh, Joplin again, non-severe. Newton County now, you guys are pretty much clear. Still McDonald County, southeastern McDonald County, pretty intense. So from Pineville, Bella Vista, over to Seligman, Roaring River, you guys are now just getting absolutely about pelted. Heavy rain, very gusty winds, and very large hail. Let's see, Jason, the storm in Golden City, it's winds at 60, quarter-size hail, but it's not, it's a low-grade severe storm. Again, Cassville, really bearing down on you now. I bet you guys are getting at least golf ball size hail in spots. Again, if you're listening, if you're camping at Eagle Rock or Roaring River, you guys need to buckle down quickly. It's already into Roaring River. A lot of people camp at Eagle Rock, down toward Holiday Island, over toward, up toward Shell Knob. I mean, there's tons of camping sites, but you guys need to buckle down because these winds are intense, 70 to 75. Over toward Shell Knob, also going to get very intense winds. But look at that hail core. Let me get the latest on that. Let's see here. Oh, there's a tornado warning. So right in Golden City. So that picked up that little line. So this is for southern Cedar County, Berry, Lawrence, Dade. So northern Lawrence, southern Berry. So let's look at this guy. So the rotation would be through Golden City, but Lockwood, do you want to go ahead and take shelter? All right, let's look at this rotation here. Let me switch this back. Yeah, little couplet. Albee. This is radar indicated. Nothing on the ground, but we are looking probably about 4 miles southeast of Golden City. So, I mean, this is tracking very close to the county line, just north of the county line of Lawrence and into Dade County. But you can see that little flare-up, minor. You guys want to take shelter. Here's Lockwood, staying just south of Lockwood, but I go ahead and take shelter. So we're going to watch that. Again, it's not on the ground, it's radar indicated. But I'll definitely take shelter for that. Because we've had such the history of tornadoes on the ground tonight, so I would not trust them. Back, so this is out of, well, at least the intense part of the cell, where the winds and then tornadic activity is out of Barton County and also Jasper County. But there is a hail core, so Golden City, and then over to Lockwood. Then we got a rotation, which is very close to the small little town of Minor. Moving east at 40 miles per hour, but wrapping up a little bit. So let's watch this. Okay, what's the new on that? Hang on. Okay, so that is confirmed on the ground now. Okay, let me get the latest here. So this is just south of Greenfield, but this is on the ground. If I was in Lockwood, Minor, little town of Smith, I'd definitely go ahead and take shelter. Look, you can see the couplet here. These sometimes happen on the front edge of these bows, as we've seen all season long. Yeah, look at that tighten up. Yeah, so pretty interesting. Let's go to velocity here. Let's try this one. Yeah, so you can see it. So here's your green, here's your red, very close to Minor, and just south of Lockwood. So let me go check that rotation down in Berry County. There's still a wide, broad rotation just south of Cassville. Not enough to warrant a tornado warning, but pretty close to it. But yeah, so severe thunderstorm warning we can pretty much say is over in Barton, also Jasper County, also Newton County. But still, McDonald County, Berry County, Lawrence County, and then our tornado warning, northern parts of Lawrence County, and then right into southern parts of Dade County. So Lockwood, little town of Minor, go ahead and take shelter, as this thing is going to be booking east at about 35 miles per hour. So when I say take shelter, what do I mean? Basement, because this is confirmed on the ground. So basement, if you don't have a basement, interior room or closet, and I usually say put pillows over your head. I would prefer a bathroom and jump in the bathtub, and then put pillows over my head. And then of course, if you have a storm shelter, use that, because that's obviously the very best place you can be. All right, let me get the latest on 65. Gotcha. Okay, so circulation's still there, definitely still a tornado on the ground just southwest of Lockwood. So yeah, take shelter, guys, southern parts of Dade County. All right, let's look at, man, see that's tightening up too, just south of Cassville. Interesting. You can see it was kind of broad, and I brought it up about right here, and then it tightened up, and now it's tightened up. So we got to watch that as well. And you can see, I mean, it's definitely trying to become low-level rotation. So this is Berry County. So we got to watch that. Field. That's crazy. So here's that wind shift line. So you got that bow echo from Washburn up to Cassville, and then I love meteorology. All right, so got that bow echo, and then you got an inflow notch. I mean, and then you got winds coming out this way behind it, and you start to get that rotation. It's trying to be low level. Interesting. Let's see here. Let's go back to YouTube here. Okay. Still have our rotation. We may have two areas. We may have a second area of rotation developing behind it. So maybe trying to recycle a little bit. Let me look here. Boy, I am glad I don't have to work tomorrow. All right, so still, we may have two little tornadoes one here, and then a second one that's trying to develop back here. So Lockwood to Minot, you need to take shelter. Let's see, in line over toward kind of South Greenfield. There's not a whole bunch out here, but South Greenfield, you guys are in line next. But that's still a pretty good couplet there. So confirmed tornado on the ground now just south of Lockwood. There may be a second rotation trying to kind of form back in here, but here's our tornado on the ground. So we're talking, I mean, a mile or two south of Lockwood. I would still be in a shelter if I was in Lockwood. It is confirmed on the ground, yes, by the color when we get a dark deep red. That is a tornado on the ground. All right, so let's zoom out. Let's get a little, figure out what, okay. Let's see, band of storms, Kansas City, but that looked like that was going to become an MCS earlier, but that did not happen. You can see, so guys, let me explain the tornado warnings for you guys. Okay, see the middle warning, so you see the bright red, that means radar confirmed tornado. Where you see the dark red here, like we have in Lockwood, that is a confirmed tornado on the ground. When you see the purple, purple, that is a large tornado on the ground. So usually talking EF2 to EF3. And then if it goes bright, then we have a tornado emergency, which would be an EF4 or 5 on the ground. All right, so we still have confirmed tornado on the ground. All right, we're looking just southeast of Lockwood. Pretty good little couplet here. So South Greenfield, you guys are next in line. I would stay in your shelter in Lockwood. This is past Golden City. You guys are fine. But South Greenfield, go ahead and take shelter as we have a confirmed tornado on the ground. Let me see if I can get any eyes on it. I'm also seeing with the storm south, power's out in Cassville. This is now pushing into Shell Knob and also Eagle Rock, guys. So, I mean, these things are booking. So here's Chain of Lakes, is Eagle Rock. So a lot of camping down there. So watch that. Severe thunderstorm warning at 70 to 75. Very large hail, but right now we're kind of focusing on the tornado on the ground. Yeah, I know people are jumping on and off, so let's do this real quick for you guys. Here's your go to bed circle. I mean, that's a pretty big go to bed circle. So if you're in that circle, take a look. That's your go to bed circle. Because I know people jump on and off. So we're looking at really just our far eastern counties. That's a nice little couplet. Okay, see how it's gone back to light red? So let me go back here. So you had the dark red, confirmed tornado on the ground. Now how it pops to light red, it's radar indicated. And the couplet has weakened just a little bit. So when it was on the ground, you know, big notch here. And as it pushed east, we've lost a little bit of the couplet. But still a tornado warning. It's now 3 miles southeast of Lockwood and about 2 miles west of South Greenfield. So you still want to take shelter in southern parts of Dade County. All right, let's go down south. Switch the radar up so I can see the hail. And the wind. Yeah, that is still very intense hail core. Cassville, really pushing into Shell Knob. Now, Emerald Beach, it's already through. Eagle Rock. I mean, that's an intense hail core, and there's still hail kind of drifting back towards Seligman. But at least, thankfully, the worst has gotten out of McDonald County now, so that is great. This is in south central Berry County. Still watching our tornado warning, which is moving into South Greenfield. Let's go through a few comments here. Yeah, Steve, Webb City's clear. Aurora, you guys are in the intense part of the storm. You're under a severe thunderstorm warning in Aurora, but you'll be looking much better here in about 10 minutes. Let me look here. Yes, Rogersville. I saw somebody ask about Rogersville. That's southeast of Springfield. So this watch, tornado watch, is out until 5 a.m. I've already seen notes that they're going to make from Springfield east tornado watch out until 10 a.m. So these are just going to continue to roll right through the states. Said family camping in Eagle Rock, Casey. Right now they're just getting absolutely pelted. Winds at 75 and golf ball size hail. Just moved in there. It's past Pineville, guys. That's the worst is through there. Yeah, Wheaton, you're looking way better. We're mainly looking Berry County. And then, of course, our tornado warning, which is now right in South Greenfield. Springfield, you guys still have severe weather, which is heading in your direction. We got these two clusters coming in. They may split right around Springfield, but Springfield still has about an hour and a half to go. Springfield proper. Roaring Rivers just camping, and Eagle Rock is just a mess. I can't imagine. Let's see, Justin, West Branson. So you're getting it really kind of moving in now. So over the next 10 minutes, things are really going to pick up. You're going to probably get winds 60 to 70, and you're going to get some hail in there. Let's see. Don't know how to say your name, but the campers are getting destroyed in Roaring River. Also says power is out at the campsite. That's terrible, man. The water Aubrey is rising at Elk River. There's flash flood warning. So yeah, any camping down there, you want to watch it because that Elk River goes crazy. You're welcome, everybody. You guys know I love doing this. This is my what I like. Holiday Island. Yeah, you guys are getting hit. A lot of people are losing power because the winds have been so strong. We've been getting winds at 70 to 80 miles per hour. All right, Mount Vernon, you guys are getting kind of lucky because the heaviest is splitting around you, one to the north, one to the south. Aurora, you're kind of on the north side. Monette, you're looking way better. Purdy, you're looking way better. Cassville, still hammering you. Over to Shell Knob, getting hammered. Still have our tornado warning here, but I'm not seeing, let me switch this up. Not seeing as much as what I was seeing earlier. When I had the tornado on the ground, I had a much tighter circulation. We still got an inflow notch here. Fiddler's Ford kind of over in there. So still have an inflow notch. So we're going to watch that as it continues to push east. Again, everybody else besides those two areas are good to go to bed, except, again, we're getting flash flooding at Grand Lake. Elk River, Knoll. We're going to have flash flooding at Table Rock. Beaver Lake is going to have flash flooding. We had large tornado go through Benton County. So there's a lot of areas that are just a mess right now. Aubrey, I can't tell you if the Elk River is going to flood, but you want to watch it. Sandra, the north storms, they didn't materialize, so this is it. We got to get this batch through. And we're going to have scattered thunderstorms tonight, but severe threat will be done. Cecilia, go to sleep. Carthage, severe threat's done. I mean, pretty much. We may get a low-grade severe thunderstorm, but nothing like what we have been seeing coming through. All right, still our tornado warning, southern parts of Dade County, but they're not extending it farther east, so I think this one's just probably going to go to expiration. It expires at 4. Man, Shell Knob still getting hammered. Eastern parts of Berry County. Table Rock, yeah, guys, you guys are just getting hammered right now. Of course, Roaring River is back kind of where my cursor is. Also, flooding, getting hammered. Everybody else starting to look. We do have another thunderstorm moving into Joplin. It's strong, but not severe. But it's going to be loud. We're going to have scattered thunderstorms all tonight. So you can see Yates Center, Iola, Chanute. We got some thunderstorms, but nothing too strong across the region. Let me look at the latest short range model here. And the northern band of storms, meaning, so it was progged earlier this would be an MCS and a big wind maker. We still may get an isolated severe thunderstorm out of these, but overall, it's not going to be a huge deal. But really, this cluster here, these guys have been the tornado producers, and we just got to watch them. I'll continue to push east, but things are winding down very, very quickly for us, which is good. But it is still going to be loud tonight. Still a little bit of a notch. Not a whole bunch. Let me ask if they're going to extend that. Okay. Wow. Lots of rain. Tons and tons of rain. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm going off in Miller, but just because you're under that, pretty close to it, but you can see Miller's right on the southern side, but the rotation is about 5 or 6 miles to your north. Jared, Pittsburgh's looking good, man. Again, guys, we're going to have scattered thunderstorms all the way through the morning. It's going to be loud, but the overall tornado and severe threat, once we get this cluster out, is pretty much gone. We kind of switch over to some low-grade severe thunderstorms. Let's see here. Aurora's still in the thick of things in Aurora, small hail, gusty winds, but that cell's moving out. Like if I go back 30 minutes, you can see it came into Aurora, and it's pretty much moved out of Aurora. So Aurora, you're looking better. Hail core still pushing now through the east side of Table Rock line. Of course, is Kimberling City. Very populated area. Kimberling City, this intense hail core and wind line is heading toward you. A lot of campers up in Kimberling City as well. All the way back to Mill Creek Resort. It's going to get real loud there pretty soon. My buddy Mike, who runs that place. And then Branson, you guys are in line next as this cell heads toward you. Winds are really going to pick up 70 to 75, and again, there's large hail. We're still getting 2-inch size hail within these storms. Yeah, JKW vids. Yeah, we have a thunderstorm moving through Joplin right now. It's strengthening a little bit, but we may get an isolated severe thunderstorm warning, but I don't see a whole bunch happening from it. You can see those clusters of storms, this guy pushing through. Let me check. Okay, so this tornado warning is going to expire at 4 a.m. It will not be reissued. It is weakened way too much. Again, guys, Branson, Kimberling City, you guys are next in line, but we're done. Scattered showers, thunderstorms, of course, loud nights. We may get a random severe thunderstorm warning, but big time tornado threat is done. All right, Cody, you can go back to programming, buddy. All right, guys, go get some sleep. I'm going to go home and get some sleep. Springfield, yeah, you guys still got an hour to go. Kara, you're going to be in a tornado watch till 10 a.m., so you still got several hours. I mean, probably through the morning, you're going to have that tornado threat. Heavy rain again, a lot of thunder and lightning moving through Joplin, but again, we're looking at just a strong thunderstorm. Tornado warnings almost gone in Dade County. Or hail and severe winds are through Berry County, so my area, we're good. All right, guys. Thanks for staying up with me tonight. Hopefully you don't have any like trees down or